Believe it or not, the number one thing that you can do to protect yourself while living here in Thailand is actually the exact opposite to what you're doing right now. Yes, you should not be watching talking head idiots like myself to get financial advice about living in Thailand or any other country for that matter. You should be consulting professionals. But since nobody ever takes my advice and you've probably got nothing else better to do, please follow along as I give you the tips that I have learned over my 3+ years of living here in Thailand, how to protect myself and in turn protect you financially from, well, essentially destroying your life and having to go back home with your tail between your legs because you lost everything in Thailand. Guys, here are my top 10 tips that you need to know to protect yourself financially while living in Thailand or visiting Thailand or any other country for that matter.
Why, hello there, guys, and welcome back to Not Only Surviving but Thriving Living in Thailand with me, your crazy kooky host. Yes, it is Dr. Mark Sabian, bringing you the little tips and tricks that I have picked up along the way, essentially to protect myself financially as I have made the move from Canada to Thailand. And guys, this goes not only for people who are moving here to retire, but also guys that are just coming for a vacation. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself financially. And these are my top 10 ways to do that. Okay, so let's start out with the most obvious one.
And that does bring us obviously to budgeting. However, I've beaten this to death in other videos. If you want, I'll put a couple links in the description below so that you guys can go see different budgets, etc., etc. But honestly, you really need to learn how to build a budget and how to stick to a budget. I don't care if you get an app or a notebook, but you need to be able to track your spending, understand where your money's going, etc., etc. Now, if you don't want to watch videos about budgeting and you don't want to watch cost of living videos, I suggest coming to Thailand and living for a month or two and building your budget from there. Get the craziness out of your life in the beginning so that you can slow down a little bit. And that's typically what your budget's going to be after your third month typically, because the first couple of months you're going crazy, you're going here, you're going there. But guys, you need to learn how to build a budget and stick to it. This is unbelievably important, okay? Unless you're a filthy rich millionaire, and even those guys, when it comes to living in Thailand, they got to be careful too, okay? But yeah, learn how to build a budget, stick to it, and everything else should be fairly simple and easy for you.
Listen, this one is so important. It doesn't matter if you're coming here for a 2-week Bangla Road bender or you've decided to spend your twilight years strolling the tranquil temples of Thailand. You have to have insurance. I have met so many people here who are living by the skin of their teeth. They're stressed out every single day because they have no insurance. I'm going to tell you something. This is, I cannot stress how important this is for you to sit down and talk to an insurance agent to make sure that you not only have coverage, but you have the proper coverage coming to Thailand. Okay. There are certain situations where your company is not going to cover you. Great example is, again, and I know I've talked about this 1,000 times, but if you rent a motorcycle here and you do not have the proper license in your home country or where you are insured, they are not going to cover you if you have an accident. Best example I can give you of this, my first month here, I met this Australian guy, 71 years old, got into a motorcycle accident, and his insurance company did not cover him, cost him $23,000. It destroyed him. He had to call his ex-wife, his kids, everyone he could think of to try and get money to cover this bill. Also, it's so important for you to understand your policy. This is why I'm saying you need to speak to like an insurance agent so that you fully understand everything, what you're covered for, what you're not covered for. How do the payments structures work? Do you have to pay up front or will the insurance company pay for you? Guys, this is just one of those, it can be an absolute game changer in your life if you have a situation where you need insurance and you're not covered for it. And I'm going to tell you this much. Here's a cold, hard fact of life that it's really sad, but it's true. Most of the people who are scrimping and not getting insurance are the guys that desperately need to have insurance because if something was to happen to them, they would not have the resources to pay for it. Thankfully, if I ever get into an accident, I have enough capital and resources that I can pay for anything that's going to happen to me if my insurance doesn't cover it. There's a lot of people in this world who do not have that luxury. And I'm going to tell you something, it makes my life so simple, so easy that I don't have to worry about it because I am fully covered. Okay. I made sure that my coverage would, it's just, guys, it is so important. You cannot imagine how many Facebook posts I have had to share with people and reach out and, try to help people who have been in these accidents get these astronomical hospital bills and they can't afford to pay them. Their families can't afford to pay them. So they're doing these GoFundMe campaigns and they're looking for donation. This is so important. Number one way to protect yourself, guys, obviously, is insurance. What more? There's nothing more I can say about this other than make sure you talk to a professional. I will say this much. I understand that there's a lot of Americans who are getting these crazy, ridiculous quotes and stuff. Listen, here's my pro tip for you. Get some coverage so that when you get to Thailand, you are at least covered for anything that's going to happen to you. Take it for a month, 2 months, even 3 months. Once you get here, talk to some guys who have insurance who can give you some referrals. I'm going to put a link in the description for the company that I use. Reach out to them. They are fantastic. You would not believe how much money you can save by going through a company here in Thailand. And typically, the service is better, the coverage is way better. Okay. Trust me on this one, guys. Do your due diligence, do your research, have insurance, please, because this is it, it can destroy you like that.
Taxes, and I'm talking income tax here, okay? We'll get to sales tax in a minute, but right now, income tax. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I have been very open and honest about the fact that I'm only spending a certain amount of time in Thailand until they fully explain the income tax situation to us, because I'm not going to get hammered with a whole bunch of taxes here in Thailand on income that I should not be taxed on. I don't understand it, and quite honestly, most of the professionals don't understand it. But you can protect yourself this way. When you're coming here, I would highly suggest that you talk to a revenue agency, understand what your tax implications are in your home country and in Thailand as well. Does your country have a tax treaty with Thailand so that you're not being double taxed, etc., etc.? Not only that, you want to make sure that your revenue agency knows that you have left the country if you're retiring over here, so that if there's benefits that you qualify for, you're getting them. But also, if there's benefits that you're receiving that you don't qualify for, you want to make sure that you're not getting those. A really good example of this is a friend of mine was living in Canada for the longest time, was getting what is called the HST credit or the GST credit. I can't remember what they call it exactly. But anyways, they wound up having to pay it back because the government found out that they were not living in Canada and they didn't quite understand it, because a lot of the stuff in Canada, it's automatic deposits, etc., etc. So anyways, they wound up paying back almost 1,100 US dollars. And if you're not expecting to have to pay something like that back, it can be financially strapping for a lot of people. I hate to say it, but that's true. So make sure you understand the tax situation, because it can be extremely challenging and scary, and it can cause a lot of financial hardships for people if they're not fully prepared when it comes to the income tax. Now, anybody who is visiting Thailand needs to understand this one. If you're coming on a tourist visa like I am, you can definitely take advantage of this. And that is the VAT, which is this tax that they charge on luxury items, goods and stuff that you buy that are over like 60 US dollars. You can actually go to the airport at Suvarnabhumi. There's a VAT station where you can give them your receipts and stuff, and they give you back like 7%, which I know is not a lot of money, but 7% of, if you have to buy an iPhone, if you buy this, clothing, shoes, watches, gold, etc., etc., you can get that sales tax back. And that is a huge savings, okay, guys? So understand that. And if you're going to other countries, check and see if they offer the same thing if you're going there as a tourist. Or if you're living like me on a tourist visa, you're in and out of the country all the time, you can definitely take advantage of it. And that is another way that you can save a lot of money and get a lot for your butt at the end of the day. Income tax and the sales tax, understand the benefits, of everything that you're allowed to get and everything that you can take advantage of, guys, because again, it's your money. You want to protect it. You want to, be smart with it. Don't give it away. Do not give your hard-earned dollars away, guys. Debit cards and credit cards. Listen, these are your lifeline here. And quite honestly, they are almost as important as your passport, okay? So here are my top 5 things that you need to know about your debit and credit cards. First off is this. Know the limitations of them and whether or not you can actually even use them here in Thailand. I have met so many people who land here, put their card in the machine, and all of a sudden it will not work for some strange reason. I'm not sure what it is. They even have that little interact symbol on the back of the card and it still will not work. You cannot imagine how stressful and devastating that would be to land here in Thailand from wherever you're coming from in the world and not be able to access any money. So please make sure that your debit card is going to work here in the first place. And also understand what the uses of that card are and how to use it properly. Again, this goes back to talking to a professional. Go into the bank and make sure that your card is going to work here. Not only that, it's extremely important, guys, for you to notify your bank that you're going to be in a different country so that they don't automatically assume that it's a fraud purchase and just void it out, not allow it to go through. This happens all the time, and people stand there, they feel like idiots, and they try to get a hold of their bank, realizing that, oh my gosh, it's usually a 10 to 12, even 14-hour time difference, and the banks are not answering the phones, et cetera, et cetera. So this is one of those things that even before you leave your home country, notify your bank that you are going to Thailand, wherever. And if you leave Thailand for another country, let your bank know. Another really important thing, guys, that you have to understand when it comes to your cards is this. You want to carry a spare. Now, I understand that most banks in Canada will not allow you to have an extra debit card on an account. So what I would suggest is go to another bank, open up an account, put some money into it so that you have a spare card, because you would not believe how many people lose their debit cards or credit cards. It's happened to me. I've lost, I think, 4 in 3 years. The craziest shit will happen. One time I was up in this skywalk in the mountains in Chiang Rai, and my credit card actually fell like 500 feet down into the jungle, okay? So yeah, anything can happen. Not only that, here's a tip that everybody needs to fully understand about the ATM machines here, okay? When you put your card in and you're getting your money, etc., it gives you the money first, and then it gives you the card at the very end. And you would not believe how many people are used to it being the complete opposite. I know that in Canada and the United States, the machine always gives you your card back and then it gives you your money. So it's completely opposite here, and there's so many people that actually walk away from the machine and leave their card in there, which can cause a whole lot of problems, because let's just say that somebody who is not of not high moral standards is standing behind you, and bam, they have access to your account. Yeah. Or the machine swallows your card, and I will tell you this much, if you do not have your name on your card, which a lot of banks don't do anymore because of privacy issues, the bank that took your card, a lot of the time, they will not give it back to you. So please be very careful when you're using the ATM machines here. Also, another thing to consider is this, okay? If you're coming here and you're getting a local SIM card, okay, a lot of the time you forget about this one, and it's extremely important to let your bank know that you have a new phone number and you want it put on your account back home, so that if they need to send you a message, if they need to send you a confirmation code, they can send it to your local cell phone number, not just your North American, European number, and it makes everything so much easier. So again, guys, biggest thing I can advise you on this is go into the bank, make sure that your cards are going to work here, get an extra card, make sure that the bank understands that you're out of the country, you're in Thailand or Vietnam, etc., okay? And please remember that they give you the cash first. You got to take your card at the end when you're at the ATM machines. Now, here's a quick tip on how to get a lot for your bot, okay? If you're fortunate enough to be able to get a Charles Schwab account, they always reimburse you banking fees and stuff. And here in Thailand, it costs 220 baht every time you take money out, which is right around $6 US. And that's a pain in the butt, okay? I could give you all kinds of tips, and in another video, I will give you some tips on how to save money. But here's one real quick one. Take your card and your passport into a Bangkok bank, okay? Bangkok bank. They will allow you to get money out right from the teller, and it's not going to cost you the 220 baht, okay? That's a quick tip for you guys. You're welcome. This one absolutely astounds me. You cannot believe how many people in the comment sections when I'm doing one of these cost of living videos, or if I'm just talking about the cost of a good on the street, they'll ask me to please put the exchange rate in their currency in the video, etc., etc. Right now, typically I do US dollars, I do baht, I do pounds, and I also do the Australian dollar, because that's pretty much most of the people that are watching. I am blown away by how many people do not understand how to convert money into their own currency so that they understand how much they're actually paying for something. It would surprise you how many people cannot do simple mathematical equations to come up with, oh, okay, well, if it's this much baht, how much is it in US dollars? I'm absolutely amazed by this. So if you have to use Google, I mean, you can just put in, 100 Thai baht to USD, and it'll tell you exactly how much it is. So one of these things that you really need to understand to protect yourself, because yes, a lot of people are like, oh, my dollar goes so far in Thailand, blah, 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 blah. But they have no idea the actual cost in their own currency. So this is a huge thing, guys, that you need to take some time to learn. Please understand it. And again, it would surprise you how many people can't do a simple calculation. Also, here's a real quick pro tip, guys. I watch the currency exchanges all the time. If I see that the dollar is way up against the baht, I go in and I get extra money out because I'm saving money every single time I do that, okay? It's like paying myself to go spend my own money, okay? Take advantage. When the exchange rate is high, go in and get extra money. You don't have to blow it all at once down in Bangla. Remember, we learned how to budget. Even if we have extra cash around, we're not going to blow through it like an absolute idiot. No, we're going to be responsible. So guys, again, learn how to do the calculations for the exchange rates, because it is so important that you understand how much it's costing you in your money, okay? Not just how much it is in baht, knowing that, oh, my dollar goes really far in Thailand. Understand how much you are spending every single time. Learn how to do simple mathematics, please. This is not an economics lesson. It's simple mathematics, boys. Really, honestly. Also, as a side note to that, please understand that inflation is a real thing that is happening all over the world. It's not just your leader who's completely destroying your country with his liberal ideas and all of this crap that you're seeing people post on Facebook all the time. Inflation is happening in every single country around the world for all kinds of different reasons, okay? At the end of the day, prices here have gone up and up and up and up and up on certain things. So be cognizant of that. One thing that I would do before you come here is I would do a little bit of research. Go online and see what certain things cost in Thailand. If you like a certain thing, you can Google it and see how much it costs here and decide whether or not you're going to be consuming that here based on how much it costs, okay? Again, you have to understand that inflation it's hitting every single country in the world, and there are certain items here. Oddly enough, Pringles went up 7% in the last year. I don't understand that one. A lot of other things didn't go up or they went down, but it's really strange how inflation affects different things here. So definitely keep inflation in mind, guys, because yes, it's unbelievably cheap here right now, but next year it's not going to be so cheap, and the year after, the year after, the year after. So prepare yourself for that. Do a little research into trends. See what areas have, stayed stagnant for prices, which ones are going up. Understand that places like Phuket, you're going to spend a lot more on rent than you are in Hua Hin, Pattaya, Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Just understand that different places are affected differently by inflation, okay? It's not just your country's leader that's destroying your country. It's happening all over the world, okay? So here's a real life scenario that proves the doctor doesn't think he knows everything in the world, and it's also the perfect example of reaching out to a professional. So this goes out to all of the crypto kings out there. Could you guys please, in the comment section, don't tear me apart because I don't know this, because a lot of people don't know this, but I have been on so many Facebook groups and stuff like this, and I see people asking, where can they go to convert their Bitcoin, their Ethereum and stuff for cash? What currency exchange can they do this at? And it seems that even the people with crypto don't know how to do this. So guys like myself who have absolutely zero crypto, I've been honest about that, guys. It's just something that has escaped me my entire life. I don't understand it, and if I don't understand it, I don't invest in it. Anyways, listen, there's a lot of people that do not understand this. So could you please tell us, how do you convert crypto to cash in, say, Vietnam or Thailand, et cetera, because there's a lot of people, again, in the Facebook groups who obviously have crypto that don't understand how to do it, because there's a lot of landlords, stuff like this, that will not accept crypto as payment. They want cash. They want it through Remitly. They want it through Wise, different apps like this. So could you please tell us, without making me look any more of an idiot than I already am, how to do it? Because I don't know how to do it. And again, there's a lot of people out there with crypto who don't know how to do it. Now, I know you're going to tear me apart on this one, because all along I've been talking about, oh, consult a professional, consult a professional. Well, guys, when it comes to the visas, okay, listen, if you're smart enough to have got this far in life where you're able to retire to another country, you should be smart enough to be able to go on the websites and find out everything you need to know about the visas yourself. I'm going to tell you this much. Some of the guys that I have met who have done the visa application process by themselves online are people that you would be damn shocked that they were able to do it. So if it's that simple, anybody can do it. You do not have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to one of these visa companies, one of these schools, to get you a visa. Guys, please learn how to do it yourself. It is so simple and so easy. They walk you through everything. Also, I'm going to give, this is one of the biggest tips that I can possibly give you, okay? Don't come here and try to get a fraudulent visa or a fraudulent bank account. Yes, there's all kinds of companies that will go on about they can do this for you, they can do that for you. If you want the retirement visa that I've talked about many, many times, where you put 800,000 baht into a bank account, etc., there's these companies that are advertising that, oh, they'll put that money up for you and they'll get you bank accounts. They'll even get you a bank account on a tourist visa. Please don't come to another country and open up fraudulent bank accounts, because if you're putting money in there, there is a very good chance that the bank or the government can come in and just freeze your account, and there's all you can do about it, because remember, it's a fraudulent bank account. Also, the visas, guys, again, I know a lot of people think that, oh, you can get anything here with money. You can get visas, but immigration and the government knows which companies are and which ones are not. So when it comes to the visas, do your own due diligence. If it gets to the point that you just can't, you're overwhelmed by it, then talk to an actual immigration professional, not one of these companies that are promising you, sunshine and lollipops when it comes to visas. Visas can be incredibly expensive if you go with like the elite visas and stuff. They're really, really expensive. The regular retirement visa, guys, is only like $52 or $53 US a year. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Be prepared and educated when it comes to the different visas here, because there's all kinds of different ones that you can qualify. Some are good for you. Some, yeah, they might not be what you're looking for, but they can really impact your finances in a hurry because, again, certain visas are unbelievably expensive. Other ones are, well, they're a joke. So there we go, guys. Listen, retiring, moving to Thailand or any other country can be an incredibly exciting experience, but it can also be a daunting, scary one at the same time. So please prepare yourself properly, do your due diligence, talk to professionals. Don't just listen to talking heads like me, like I said, because you know what? This is just from experience. I am not an expert. I may be an expert on how to get a lot for your bot while living in Thailand, but at the end of the day, I'm not an expert in insurance. That's why I'm going to put a link to the company that I use below. I am not a banking expert at all. I just know that you can run into a lot of really scary situations here because of problems with your debit card, your credit card. Also, you know, keep in mind when you're using your credit cards here, they charge you an extra 3% on everything that you buy. So a credit card is not the smartest thing to be using here. I mean, yeah, you're getting points, but you're also paying 3% extra. Keep that in mind, okay? Understand, again, taxes, everything. If you've been smart enough and wise enough with your money, you've worked this hard in life and you want to enjoy the rest of your life, make sure that you're protected and prepared for moving here, guys, because if not, you will be one of those people that ends up going home with their tail between their legs. And man, at our age, I don't think I'd want to have to start all over again. I really wouldn't. Until next time, guys, I'm living my best life, and that's all I want for you guys. Please, if you're not living your best life, find out what you need to do today. And if moving to Thailand is what you need to do, make sure you're properly prepared. Till next time, guys, cheers. Now, I know this was not a video about how to get a lot for your bot, how to save money here and there, etc., but I'm going to leave you with this one tip, okay? Please understand that even though it looks like a rather insignificant amount of money at the time, a lot of people I hear, oh, you know, it was only a couple of bucks, so who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You should care, because all of those little tiny fees, and they add up so fast that it's crazy. And even though you're thinking that, oh, you know, it's not much money, in the end, again, it adds up and it is a ton of money, okay? So even though it looks cheap and it looks like, who cares? You should care.